Fire in the hole, let's cook a picanha. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome once again to my backyard. What I got for you today is a picanha. A picanha is a rump cap of beef. It's got a hard fat cap on it, and it's a beautiful cut of meat. And it's kind of a shame what I'm going to do to it today. I got the idea for this from my buddy Lars. You know him as Lassa. Lassa's Cooking and Barbecue. Get a paper towel. And what he did was he took a tri-tip and he cooked it like a brisket. So I thought, what if I did the same thing with a picanha? Well, I couldn't get a tri-tip, that's why I got a picanha. Anyway, we're going to cook a picanha, but we're going to overcook it, kind of like you do with a brisket. If this works out good, it's going to be great because brisket costs like $50, $60 for a pack of brisket. And then when you're done with it, you've got enough meat to feed like 20 people for 2 days. But this is going to be just perfect for my family. So I'm going to make a rub. We're going to put about a quarter cup of kosher salt to start with. And then we've got some black pepper. I'll put a recipe for this very basic rub in the description box. About an equal amount of black pepper to that. And then we've got some smoked paprika, and I just happen to have, I'm using up this jar. I have another jar of it, but I decided to use up what was in the jar, so I'm calling that good. Then we got some minced onion, about an equal amount of onion to that, and garlic, about an equal amount of garlic to that. And that's a basic barbecue rub right there. I'm going to mix that up, mix it with a spoon so you can see what I'm doing. Break up that paprika, salt, pepper, paprika, garlic, and onion. Very simple. A very simple rub for this picanha. So let me get that mixed up and get my gloves on and we'll rub this picanha. Stay tuned. Okay, so I got my rub mixed up and I'm going to get some Sang stir-fry oil and slather that puppy with some Sang stir-fry oil, because we love the garlic flavor of Sang stir-fry oil, don't we? Yes, we do. And now I'm going to slather it with this rub and get it all over. I'm going to rub them down good with this. I'm going to put a heavy coat of rub because I want to get a bark on this like you do with a brisket. I also want to tell you where I got the idea for this. I mentioned Lassa. He got the idea from a guy named Ori, whose channel is called Get Outside and Cook, I think is the name of his channel. Get that rubbed down. I'm going to rub the fat cap too, even though it's kind of redundant. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and rub the back of it too. What the hell. Got nothing better to do. So let's get this rub on the back of that fat cap. It looks good already, doesn't it? Damn, that looks good already. I want to get the top of that. A little bit of that on the top of that meat. There you go. All edges of my picanha have been rubbed. It's got quite a good amount of rub on there. While my pit barrel comes up to temperature, I mentioned Lassa and Ori, and there's another guy who did this named Max Barbecue Team. I'll put iCard links to all three of them in the video. You know, the iCard deal. Anyway, I'm going to get this hooked up with the hook. It's my pit barrel hook. I'm going to hook it like this. And hook it in the pit barrel, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then we're going to cook it till we get an internal temperature of 160. Then we're going to wrap it and continue to cook it until we get an internal temperature of 190 to 200 degrees. We're going to treat this just like a brisket, even though it's a picanha. And it's kind of a shame, you know, part of me wants to say, yeah, cook it rare and eat it like a roast beef. And then part of me wants to say, let's cook it like a brisket. So let me get that hung in the pit barrel and I'll show you what it looks like, so stay tuned. My well-rubbed picanha is in the pit barrel. We're not putting any wood. We're using only charcoal today to smoke this puppy till he gets up to 160 degrees. Then we're going to wrap him and foil him and cook him until he gets to 200 degrees. It's going to take about 6 hours. If this was a packer brisket, it would take 9 to 13 hours, and it would also cost about 3 times as much as what I paid for this picanha. So if this works out, it's picanha from now on, no more brisket. Okay, stay tuned, babies. We're going to check this all out very soon. Well, we're coming right along here. It's looking really good. We got up to 160 degrees, so what we're going to do now is put a little bit of, this is some beer that Tango Joe gave me. It's Hooligan's Irish Stout from the Long Island Beer Company. And the guy kind of looks a little like Tango Joe on there, doesn't he? Anyway, yeah, we're just going to pour some of that beautiful stout in the bottom of that pan. We don't really want to braise it. We just want to keep the liquid, keep the steam going. I think we're going to put the whole beer in there. I was going to save a taste for myself. I wish I had now. Well, I got the last little bit of it. It was excellent, Tango Joe. Thank you very much. So anyway, like I was saying, we're going to wrap this now, and then we're going to put it back in the pit barrel until we get up to 190 degrees. So we're looking for 190 on this puppy. It's got a beautiful bark. I'll tell you what. Don't it look good? Okay, we're going to wrap that up. Wrap it up, get it back on the pit barrel, and go to 190 degrees with it. And then we're going to pull it off and slice it. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to come up, I think we should have a beer, don't you? Stay tuned. Alright, friends and neighbors, there's the rapidly defrosting Frosty Root Boy mug. And here's today's beer, Bell's Oktoberfest. We got an Oktoberfest from Bell's Brewery, one of my favorite breweries in Comstock, Michigan. And Bell's makes the amazing Hop Slam, one of the best beers I've ever had. Let's pour out this Oktoberfest. I'll tell you a quick history of Oktoberfest. There was this Bavarian prince who was getting married, and he told his brewmaster around April he wanted a special beer for his wedding in October. So he told them to make him a beer for his wedding, and that was when they made Oktoberfest. Marzen, I don't know what that means. But Oktoberfest is a style of brewing beer. And it's really good. They do it every year, Oktoberfest. A beautiful light lacy head and a beautiful orange color. Let's take a sniff of that. Oh man, that smells great. Roll. There's hardly any froth on there to quaff, but let's do it anyway, baby. Wow, that is great. I really like Oktoberfest. I really like Bell's Brewery. I can't remember when I had an Oktoberfest last, but I have to tell you, it's excellent. Okay, let's get our picanha out of there and cut into it like a brisket. Stay tuned. Oh, this thing is done. This is a picanha that I cooked as a tri-tip. And I gotta tell you, I think I'm going to be very pleased with the way this thing came out. We're going to cut right into that. I'm not going to pussyfoot around anymore. Look at that. It cuts like butter. It looks like butter. It looks like brisket on the inside. It's got a nice bark. I'm going to cut a slice of that off and take a taste. We'll give it a pull test. I think it's going to pass. Oh boy, that's looking excellent. Excelente. Look at that. Can you see that? It's a little warm, but oh yeah, it's pulling right apart. The collagens, woo, it's hot. The collagens in the meat are broken down completely. And they have rendered, the fat has rendered out of it, and it's just amazing. It's a little hot, but I got to take a taste of it. Look at the smoke ring on that. Can you see that? Oh boy. Oh, It's hot, but it's good. I tell you what. It doesn't get much better than that. So it tastes and looks like brisket. It's way overcooked, but it's just as tender as it can be. You can see that it's just pulling apart. All the collagens are broken down. That's amazing. I gotta thank Lars for bringing this to my attention, this method of cooking different types of meat aside from a brisket. I got a pretty nice smoke ring on there, if you can see that. And yeah, it's delicious. There's a fatty piece for you. That fat is sweet as can be. Wow, that's great. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I'm really glad I decided to do it this way and take the time, almost 6 hours, to cook this. Anyway, that's this week's video. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoying this picanha, which I was afraid I had ruined it, but apparently not. Apparently that's a way to cook picanha or tri-tip. Just cook it like a brisket. Anyway, yeah, there'll be three iCards up here. We got Lasse, Lars from Sweden. We got Ori, Get Out and Cook. And we got, what's that other guy? I forgot his name. Well, I'll think of it. It'll be in the iCard. If you like this crap, please subscribe. If you don't, go up and see. You got a choice of 3 people today to subscribe to and watch their videos. And who was that? Oh, Max Barbecue Team. See, I knew I'd remember it after a while. My memory's not that bad. This Oktoberfest is excellent from Bell's Brewing Company. Come back next week. We may not cook anything good, but I'll bet you we drink a beer. Bye.